Hey, welcome to Keight Krafts. I'm Keight. Today I would like to share with you yet another Lawn Fawn Bat Card, because I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough. Let's get started. What I have here is a black cardstock and a neon green cardstock, both 65 pounds, that I've used my Fine-Tech Iridescent watercolors on, just a bunch of splatter. And for the green one, I am using the outside in stitched rectangle die to cut down my panel. Next, I am going to use the Slimline stitched Hillside borders to create my wavy bits for the front of my card. And I'm just using the bats here to kind of eye out how much space I need between the two wavy borders dies. And once I've got that all cut out, I will take some really dry black acrylic paint and kind of try to smoosh that onto my stamping block. And then I'm going to take some of the blue Iridescent Fine-Tech watercolor and figure out what I want to put with it, because I've got that little bit still on my stamping block, but I'm going to go with the blue, and I'm going to load my paintbrush up with that, and the water and the blue with the black, really, like, you add a little bit more water and it kind of just rehydrates itself and you get this really cool blue-black. Reminds me of hair dye. I used to have blue-black hair when I was a kid. So I'll just smoosh that around, blending in that black, and then I will move my panel over and I will just splatter all over the place. So I'll be splattering one way, and to make sure that I don't have all my splatters going in one direction, I'll turn the paper. This is much how I did the shiny bits that you see in splatter. I had some extra cardstock and I wanted to just splatter it to see what kind of effect that I had, and I ended up cutting them down to panels, and this is one of them. So once I'm done with that, I will take this dollar store brand foam tape that I have. I found it in the Dollarama here in my city, and I thought, I need more of this. So you can see that I've got some low-tack tape on the back side of this to hold this down. I thought about keeping it all together, but figured I just needed the middle part to space stuff out. So to spare you the traumatizing view of having to put all these little pieces on the back sides of my panel, I fast-forwarded ahead. So once I'm done puzzle piecing everything together, I will use that inside bit that I cut out with the Hillside stitch border dies and kind of line that up where I want everything to go. So you can kind of see here that I'll line these bits up with the foam tape and use that center piece to kind of guide me as to where I need to go. So I'll rip all the back sides of this off, and once I'm done with that, I will add some glue. So before I put that down, I grab my glue. I'll put some glue on the back side. This is just in case I need to pick it up again and move it, but it is what it is when I put it down. Maybe this is just an extra security blanket for me. I don't know. It's habit. So I'll use that inside panel there to kind of line things up. And to make things go faster, I'll do the same for that top bit there. So I've already pulled off the release tape, and I'll use that center piece to line everything up to make sure it all looks nice. And once I'm happy with that, I will pat everything down. I will remove the low-tack tape and remove the panel, and look at how fancy. Next up, I have the banner die that I had stamped and cut out earlier that I didn't think that I was going to use, and then thought better of it. So I put some low-tack tape on the back side just so I can use a bigger piece of paper to hold it down in my MISTI. Now this sentiment here says, I love hanging out with you, but I didn't want to use the whole sentiment because the person I'm sending the card to was, I really wasn't exactly hanging out with them. This was more of like, hey, thanks for letting me hang out kind of thing. So what I did here was I took a piece of my low-tack tape and just covered out the with you, so I just have I love hanging out, and then I'll have all my bats on the front. So I didn't think that the banner was going to fit, so I thought I would take my black Copic marker here, and I used the chiseled side to kind of color in the border here where the white is, and I end up cutting off the little flags on the end. So I'm just going around to make sure that it's all nice and even to the best of my abilities, and once I'm done that, I'll pull that out of the negative space there, and I'll use a pair of sharp scissors and just kind of trim off the edges of those. And there you have it. I have a nicer little banner there. And because I screwed up just a smidge, I'm just going to fix that because I didn't think it looked even enough. So I'm just going back around the edge to make sure I like it. And then I figure one extra step just to go around the edge kind of thing, in case there's any white peeking out. And once that's done, I will figure out my placement. So I initially was going to do it the other way, but I thought this might be a little more easier to do. So here I'm taking my black, or my gray, my C9, oh no, sorry, that's my N5 Copic marker, and then I'll use my Sharpie. My Sharpie I don't think are Copic friendly, so I had to use that first before my Sharpie. So I've touched up that little bat, and then next I think I will glue everything down. So to kind of address the little bit of an elephant in the room here, you notice I'm not wearing my watch, and I have this wonderful white band of skin. Well, the person I'm sending this to is one of the organizers to a recent pop-up market that I did, and I was so pleased to be able to come back again that I wanted to send her a thank you card. And while I probably should have worn sunscreen, I forgot. I forgot to put on sunscreen, and I was in direct sun for the whole day, and even half my face got sunburned. So I have a sunburned mustache, and my arms are sunburned, and everywhere except for my watch part where you can see the white is pretty much sunburned. I mean, my legs are fine, but my partner has come up with a new nickname for me while I am sunburned. He likes to call me an orange peel. So, lesson learned. And it's even funny because we had gone to Lowe's the Friday before, and I had even had one of those pop-up umbrellas in my hand that didn't have the base, and I figured, you know what, this is my last one outside. My next two are indoors, and then that's it for the season. I really don't need to spend the money on an umbrella. I'll be fine. Boy, was that one of the dumbest adult ideas I've ever had. I probably should have just spent the extra money and got the stupid umbrella, and I wouldn't be sunburned. But need not worry, I will survive. It just feels like I'm getting a tattoo all over my arms, which I've lived through before, as you can tell. Overall, I really enjoyed doing this market, and I even told the organizer that, you know, if they're going to be doing this again next year, that I would absolutely love to come back. I love the little area that it's in. The people who come are just the sweetest. I met so many cool people. I saw so many random faces I hadn't seen in such a long time, and it was just a really feel-good market, like that sense of community, you know, when you're in a community that you kind of hold in your heart a little bit, and you see all the people that come out, and it made me happy. So I'm hoping that next year in the spring, when they have applicants, that I'll be able to come back again. I know the organizer had said that they had over 90 applicants for the October one, but I already have October spoken for, so I won't be going back this year, but I don't know. I really enjoyed myself there. So with that being said, I am going to go around the bats once they're all glued down, and I will go in with my Sakura white jelly roll pen in the number 8, I want to say. And I'm just going to add a bunch of dots and dashes all over the place just to make them extra cute, because sometimes I use the jelly roll pen, sometimes I don't, but I think that little extra touch adds, you know, that cuteness factor. So once I'm satisfied with that, I will go in with some Wink of Stella. I'll put a little bit on the banner die here, and I end up going back and just slopping glitter all over it because I went a little willy-nilly with this. So I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do, so I thought I'd squiggle a couple of little lines in between the bat wings there where where the dark is, to kind of give it a little bit of a shimmer. And you see me dipping it off there. Sometimes it doesn't come out properly, and I always worry that if I squeeze too hard that it'll gloop out. You'll see here in a minute that I end up dropping some of it on my workstation, but I just always worry that I actually gloop it out on some of my projects, and it's like, oh no. But you can see right there I added too much to the ear, and I had some plop down on my mat, and I'm just kind of redistributing it so it doesn't look too intense on just the one ear. So, and this is where I decide, I think that's good enough, and I see the gloop, and I think, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to go all over here with this extra waste not, want not, put it all over the I love hanging out. And once I am done with that, I will take the sentiment for the inside, which is thank you very much. And I am going to use a piece of low-tack tape to hold down the edge, or the back side of that. And I'm going to hand stamp this. Now, I've gotten a little bit more confident with hand stamping, so long as it's on the inside. And because I had extra bits that I didn't use on the front of the card, I thought I would just add them in to the inside to make it all matchy-matchy. And I made sure to leave enough room at the bottom to add my little thank you note that I wanted to add to this. And once I'm done adding on the little tiny spiders, which are so darn cute, even though spiders are just, they give me the heebie-jeebies, my card is ready to be popped into the mail. I love hanging out. Look at the bats. I love the bats. They are probably one of my most favoritist critters of all. So there's a lovely card, and as you can see here, this overload of cuteness. So, if you've enjoyed today's content or found it helpful, please give this video a like. I also welcome you to subscribe, as I post weekly. Here's another video I think you might enjoy. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Take care.